Make a Path presents Let's Talk. Alright, Deadheads, I wasn't going to do a video today except for Skybound released the cover preview for issue 144 today, and we were talking about it, commenting on the Facebook post, and Skybound decided to chime in that it was the end of Compendium 3. I didn't even think about that. It didn't even click with me, and I was like, oh, damn. Something seems, I don't know. I don't want to say off, or the pacing does not seem fast enough for something major. I mean, something big could be in the works for the end of that compendium. It's very possible, but to me it just seemed off. I guess that's the best way to put it. I just want to take a peek real quick and show you. The end of the compendiums, they are a big deal. They're a very big deal. And I think that's why it feels off to me. Look at Compendium 1, for example. Compendium 1 actually ended probably the bloodiest so far. At the end of this compendium, I mean, we're talking the last issue in this compendium. Lori dies, Herschel dies, Herschel's son dies, the governor dies. Shit, you know? Rick and Carl flee the prison. That is the last issue, issue 48. That's what happens at the end of Compendium 1. Now, Compendium 2, it's not as bloody, nowhere near as bloody, no major characters die, however, it's a very, very big event. It is the first appearance of Negan. Not his first physical appearance, it's the very first mention of Negan's name. The last issue in Compendium 2 is where we're at the hilltop, and Gregory is attacked because Negan's sending Gregory a message. Jesus, in all his badassness, and I'm telling you this right now, if you want to fall in love with Jesus, go read The Conclusion of a Larger World. Go read that. His campfire speech takes up maybe 3 or 4 panels. Man, I just reread it, and I just instantly, I love the guy. More. Okay? More than I ever did before. He was one of my favorites, still to this day, in the comic book, but just rereading that line, man, he's such a badass, you know? So the end of the compendium is Jesus telling Rick who Negan is, and what he wants, and what he takes from the hilltop. This is our very first introduction of Negan, and I love this introduction more than any of villains. This, to me, is the best way to introduce a villain. You introduce him verbally, talk about him, mention him, you know what I mean, like a legend or some kind of myth. And they do that 4 issues before Negan even arrives. Another neat fact is when they're leaving the hilltop, Rick gives a speech, and it's the very last couple pages in this compendium too, which is, and this is important even though no one dies, and it's not as easy to sum up as the bloody conclusion of the prison battle. This is a very important speech because everything that Rick is talking about at the end of Compendium 2 is exactly where we're at in the new beginning right now. It's almost, it's prophetic. It's really something to read. If you read the end of this compendium, read Rick's speech, and look at where we're at today, man, it's deep. Now, what I said was interesting is Rick tells his people, he says, you guys all saw something different in the hilltop. Glenn, you saw something to love. Andrea, you saw something to ridicule. Michonne, you saw something to fear. And I love that, and this probably has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but that was awesome because the very next issue, guess what that's called? Something to Fear. And the next story arc is actually Something to Fear. I just think that's neat. So it leaves me to wonder now, because you guys know where we're at, and if you're not caught up with the comic books, I don't know why you're watching, there's going to be spoilers. You know what, before you go, if you do decide to go, if you're not caught up with the comic books and you want to be, or you're thinking about it, now is the time. So with this video, I kind of want to put this out there to get our brains going. I'm going to go ahead and do prediction videos for the covers. With this video, I just want to add on a layer of importance with the Compendium 3 coming to a close with issue 144. So we got cover 141, which is Negan with the open prison door jail cell. That's what we saw at the end of issue 140. Then we see 142, which is going to be the fair. And it looks like Negan's maybe sneaking through the crowd, but part of that doesn't look like Negan. It just does not look like him. And then you got 143, which is going to be Carl and Lydia. This is an amazing cover. I love this cover. I cannot wait to get this cover in my collection. And then we have 144, which is a very sorrow-looking Rick. It's a very sad-looking Rick. It doesn't look like he's angry that Negan escaped. That's not what I pulled from it. What I pulled from it was like a puppy who just had his heart broken, like something he just witnessed is like a crushing blow. Now with the pacing, I don't believe we're going to get into any big battles right away with 144. As far as Rick dying in 144, to be honest, I don't see it. If it does come, that's one hell of a shock. I just don't think Rick is ready to go out. And it looks like he trimmed his beard a little bit, and I think that would be really awesome if they did do that. Maybe he was getting ready for the fair, and he just decided to buzz his beard. Trim it up some. I think that would be a cool idea. As far as, like I said, as far as the pacing, I don't know if they're going to have any huge death or whatever, but I think it's a really nice close to have the end of Compendium 2 being where we're first hearing about this Negan character. He's out there somewhere. And then in Compendium 3, the very last issue, that's where we find out, Rick finds out, maybe the rest of them find out, Negan is once again out there somewhere, you know? That idea is just stuck in my head. I absolutely love that. I don't know how much they're looking into tying up both compendiums and linking the ends of each compendium like that, but that's such an awesome idea. I love that even more than having a major death in issue 144. Who knows? Andrea could die. He could kill Andrea on his way out the door. I don't know if... I don't know. Again, it's the piece that's throwing me off with death predictions. Because Negan, not even having shoes and wanting to escape, it seems like he would try to escape quietly and not go out there guns blazing, because he didn't even have a gun unless he grabs a hold of somebody as they're coming down to feed him. Who knows? I would like one final conversation between Rick and Negan. If Negan does escape, I would love for Rick to come and bring him his food. Maybe Negan closes the door, Rick comes and brings him his food for the last time before they go to the fair or do the fair thing, and Rick and Negan have this conversation where Rick is thinking it's the usual chit-chat, and they already set this up where Negan is like, you're just getting the place ready for me, you know? Negan could be talking like that again, and it's very similar to how he was talking previously, so it won't throw Rick into, you know, caution. It won't throw any red flags. And then Negan will be talking to him knowing he's getting out of here. And Rick doesn't know that. I want one final conversation like that before Negan leaves. I just think that would be just so fucking awesome. Alright guys, so before I forget, let's do this. Here are the 4 covers that we know about. 41, 42, 43, 44. That's what they look like. And also, don't forget, this October, not only will The Walking Dead Season 6 come back on the air, but Compendium 3 will be released to the public this October. I'll put an image of Compendium 3 up there as well. I, again, am adding an extra layer of urgency. And again, I'm just throwing this video out there to get us thinking. I want to talk with you guys more about what's coming up in the close, not just in the next issue, the issue after that. Skybound opened my eyes. We are closing. We are coming to a close on the 3rd compendium with issue 144. This is it. What we have right now and these 4 issues, that's it. That's the end of Compendium 3, and we're moving into Compendium 4. I think that is absolutely exciting. I cannot wait, you know? Cannot wait for this. Issue 150 is going to be coming up soon. I'm really hoping we're going to get a really Carl-centric, important Carl-centric issue out of 150. If Kirkman's listening to this, give us Carl, it's important. Because for those of you who don't know, issue 50 was actually the first time in a major way Carl was on his own in an issue. It was the very first Carl-centric issue. I believe he was on the cover, and that entire issue, Rick was passed out, if you guys remember that story, and Carl led the walkers away, killed them, got scared, and everything like that. So, issue 150, I'm really hoping for a Carl-centric issue, and then again, issue 200, I'm really expecting something huge to happen for issue 200. So, that's a long ways away. For now, thoughts, ideas, and opinions about the end of Compendium 3, which is going to close on issue 144 with a very distraught-looking Rick Grimes. Also, throw down your predictions for any of these 4 issues. Throw them all down below. Let me know what's on your mind, and I will be breaking down videos for each prediction separately for the comics. Alright guys, down below, finger that keyboard. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe now.